Anaerobic, on the other hand, means that we're producing ATP without relying on increased oxygen uptake.
Key point I wanted to get across here is it happens outside of the mitochondria, so we don't need to even worry about that. And it happens without fat and without oxygen. So those are like the three key things, and it's important when we think about the training and the training stimulus.
So I guess the main benefit of this, though, is that we can create lots of ATP really, really quickly, which means we can do a lot of work really fast.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about trying to get oxygen into the cell. We don't need to worry about breaking down these really complex fat molecules. We've got sugar and we've got the end product, lactate. And it's super quick. Super, super quick and not efficient whatsoever. And we know that. Matt, it hurts, right? If you're going hard, it hurts. And there's a reason for that. And you can't do it forever.
Yeah, well, if we think about that sprint to the donut shop, we bolted off the line and then we had to slow down, slow down, slow down. So this anaerobic system kind of takes over and does most of the ATP generation from about 10 seconds to 2 to 3 minutes before we need to slow down again because we're relying primarily on aerobic metabolism.
The couple limiting factors there are carbohydrate, right? We know we need to supplement with carbohydrate. There's a reason Gatorade exists, all these sports drinks. There's a reason we carbohydrate load glycogen. That's how we store carbohydrate in our muscles, but it's finite. The number generally thrown around is 500 grams for a 75 kg individual. That's not a lot, not compared to the, what did I say, Matt? It was about 3 kgs of fat on a 50 kg individual at like 3% body fat or 6% body fat. So it's nowhere near as comparable. It's very limited, and if we use it all up at the start of our marathon, we're going to be taxed at the end, and that's the reference point for blowing up, hitting the wall, bonking. What are some of the other terms you've heard, Matt?
Yeah, bonking is probably the normal one that we would use back home. When we think about like the importance of aerobic metabolism, why would we run out, so aerobic metabolism uses fat. So why would we run out of glycogen then when glycogen, the stored form of sugar, why would we run out of that during a race?
We'd run out in what kind of race?
So I guess why would we bonk ever, right? Because that bonking feeling that's when we run out of blood glucose. Our blood glucose is too low. So if aerobic metabolism is so important, why would we ever get that feeling?
Well, because carbohydrate can be used for aerobic metabolism as well as anaerobic metabolism. So we are trying to perform at our absolute peak across any race, any distance. And a way we can ensure that we are performing at our peak is we can supplement to some degree a bit of our ATP production, the currency that we use for our muscular contractions, with carbohydrate or glycolysis, carbohydrate metabolism. So this is going to ensure, because, Matt, like you said, fat is slow, it's slow to generate the end product that we need to feed into the mitochondria, whereas carbohydrate is fast. Once we get those end products, we put them in the mitochondria, we generate like 34 molecules of ATP, we're good. But the fact is we're still using carbohydrate, so we still to make sure we supplement it. Now, without getting into it, this is some of the theory behind low carbohydrate ketogenic training, in that the more fat you use, the more you train without carbohydrate, the faster the ability to use fat, and the less likely are to bonk or blow up, because the less reliant on carbohydrate you become.